Didn't work out the way people wanted it to, but the better team did win. Auburn defeats Michigan 78-65. It was an ugly game, Sam. I mean, sort of Michigan had to bog it down there in the first half, but it was a 1-point game at the half. It just didn't work out. Michigan had that 9-point lead with 12 minutes to go, and then Auburn went on its run and just put this game away. What's your immediate take after this loss?
Well, I thought in the first half, they had some opportunities, man. They had a great matchup with Danny, very aggressive. I thought he was excellent getting downhill, really exploiting the matchup when he had, 44 on him especially, and really did some good things when he had Broom on him as well. But, man, they didn't do a really good job of keeping Broom off the glass. I thought, good initial defense, but too many opportunities, too many second chance opportunities. And for as good as they played defensively in the first half, they went into the half down a point. And you felt like all that work they did.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you look up at the scoreboard and Auburn was like, Auburn had to go into the half like we didn't play our best game by any stretch of the imagination.
Uncharacteristic with all the turnovers by Auburn. Michigan, we're sort of used to that.
Right.
I'm not used to seeing that from Auburn.
Like you could tell they were kind of chirping at each other. There was kind of some gripes, and you could see Bruce Pearl getting on them. All of that. And they were up. And so, you could tell that they were like, we got a whole lot left in the tank.
Yeah.
We get some things together and we'll be okay. Meanwhile, Michigan, that was about as well as they could play defensively. And yet there were some things that they did leave on the court. They could have done better. Like they needed, for instance, for Vlad to kind of have that matchup in the middle, be balanced out a little more. You can't have that be so one-sided. And then the other part, see you 3 meals. And then the other part was turnovers, man. The turnovers in transition.
The unforced turnovers where it's really just bad passes or not catching the basketball. Simple stuff. Yeah. And it really just costs them there down the stretch run. Yeah,
that was tough because those are opportunities where you should be getting high percentage looks. You should be scoring entrance. You got numbers, those are runouts, and then meanwhile you either turn it over or it leads to a good look the other way. And there was a couple times, or at least one time, very vividly, I remember, they go down, they turn it over, and then they come down the other way and they get a 3. That's a 5-point swing.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that is the kind of thing against a great team like Auburn you can't have happen. And you just have a little margin for error. So you come out and you feel like you see some momentum in the second half. You go up 9 points. What was about 12 minutes to go?
Yeah.
And they just hit another gear.
20-2 run, I believe, at one point. I mean, just an incredible feat. Like you were waiting for Auburn to start to see if they were going to try to take this game back, and they did, and some. They hit some big time shots. They had 3 guys that had in the upper teens as far as points. They had big time players made some plays for them today. Michigan only really just had Danny.
Yeah. So do you have guys that when you need them to take over, to take control, go get it? One thing that stuck out to me, and it didn't dawn on me in the moment. I mean, I noticed it, but I didn't know if it was going to be significant. Pettiford came out at halftime before everyone else
was taking all those shots. I was watching.
And he was taking all those shots. Step back here, step to the left here, step to the right here. He was all those shots that you saw him hitting in the game. I mean, he was out shooting about 5 minutes before everybody else came on the court. Pettiford was shooting those same shots.
Yeah.
Paid off, didn't it?
And it paid off. And it was like, man, I mean, he must have known something. He must have known something.